about 2-ish weeks ago, Backlogs or Lemon made a video saying, "Can I beat Dark Souls 2 with 100 great arrows?" And then he proceeds to not even shoot one. What's going on, guys? This is Waning Moonlight, and today we will be shooting 100 great arrows, and that's the Moonlight guarantee. Now, few rules for this run. Obviously, outside damage is allowed, environmental kills. And also, we can't really start with a great bow, obviously. And I don't have cheat engine to start one. I'm not good with stuff like that. So, I'm allowing myself just to be able to throw hands till I can get it. Because I could stand around and kill bosses using the butterfly outfit, but I wanted to get this video done quicker than it took. I'll be honest, I started this video like 3 days after he made his, and it's just turning out now. So that's how long it took for me. This took several hours of prep work. So do please watch and see how it goes. So our first goal is money. We want to be rich because we will also be buying the butterfly outfit. Yeah, I know I just said saying how he used that in his video instead of great arrows was kind of weird, but I understood it because looking at pure numbers and damage, it would be extremely impossible to actually be able to kill bosses or all the bosses you need to without some even major exploits. Then I'm going to be doing, because I will be doing a few questionable things to try and save some arrows. So, butterfly outfit, which means our bonfire aesthetic will be used in Majula. But we also have to put his shop into the upgraded state, which I believe, or at the least the time, I thought you had to spend 15,000 souls, 15,000. Which, for a little bit, I was wondering if that was right, and it turns out I was right on the mark on that, so that's good. But that means we're also going to need to get the money, and if we can't kill things, because I know I said I'm going to allow myself to throw hands, but I'm not going to just throw them wildly, because I felt like that would be cheating. So only punching characters down or bosses down if necessary. I'm not going to beat every single boss in the game with hands and then grab a bow at the very end. I'm trying to do things quickly. And doing things quickly, that's why we're here. We're going to go ahead and drop the Dragon Rider, get his free money, and then that's what we're going to be using to upgrade his shop. Of course, we're going to get this first try. I literally make Dark Souls 2 videos all the time. How could I possibly mess it up? Yeah, see? First try. Perfect. Alright. So with this money in hand, it's going to give us just enough. Not to actually get any of the butterfly armor, but enough to upgrade his shop. So, where do we actually get great arrows and a great bow? Great arrows are sold by Macduff in the Lost Bastille, which is behind the Pursuer, which is behind the Last Giant. That's fine. That's not too bad to do. What about great bows? Well, 3 out of 4 are in the Iron Keep, which is behind several bosses, and some are even in the Broom Tower DLC. Well, what about the 4th one? Because there are 4 bows, great bows. Well, the 4th one can be found in the Ivory King DLC, which means all we would have to do is make our way into Dranglake Castle and then go get it. You can really explore the Ivory King DLC, which means it should be easy to pick up, right? But anyways, that's going to be not even tomorrow's problem. That's going to be a few days' problem. See, in his video, once again, I'm going to keep kind of quoting back to it. Lemon said it took about 3 hours of grinding when he would do about get 1,000 souls per drop of an enemy. Now, we use our bonfire aesthetic here, which means we're going to be getting 500. And so, that's going to take double as long. 6 hours, right? That's the math there. However, that's not the case fully. See, at first, struggling a little bit because I'm trying to figure out how to do the jump exactly. So it does get a little smoother as things go on. It was a little rough at the start, trying to see where to go. Sometimes at first I was going too far, and then other times he kind of fought against me. But after 20 minutes of doing that, I got bored and decided, you know what, I'm gonna go get the great arrows now so I don't go insane. Which means we have to do this entire run through, and honestly, it's not too bad. A lot of people complain about getting jumped in Dark Souls 2, getting ganked, but maybe it's just the way I found better movement, but that never really happens to me. You may also notice we're in a covenant, the Covenant of Champions. See, if you're unfamiliar, that has a few effects. One being enemies never stop respawning. Usually they disappear, I believe, after 13 times beating them. And it also increases their health and defenses. Now, waning, I'm sure you're asking, why are you fighting a boss with that still active? Well, you see, I couldn't see it. I have something in the top left of my TV. I got the Guardian Zelda amiibo, and it perfectly covered the Covenant. So I forgot it was there, and I died. Not my best moment. And when I died, that was after 7 minutes. So I really just stood there for a moment in regret. And then I noticed it. So abandoned Covenant and was ready to try again. Which I'm sure things will go better. And it did. Doing more damage obviously helped a ton. So we just broke his ankles after about 9 minutes. Homeward boned, and now we just gotta go to the pursuer. But first, I wanted to talk to Valencia over here, because if we buy a few more things, she will give us the silver serpent ring, which is more money, our favorite thing. But anyways, we run up to the pursuer, see how he's doing, bait him over here, and then of course, we give him some great bolts, which, just felt proper for the Great Arrow run, right? And there we go. That gives us the Ring of Blades, which not only will increase our fist damage, but I'm 80% sure it increases our arrow damage. I'm gonna be real. I didn't really Google too much. Just wear our bows and wear our great arrows. Speaking of great arrows, here we go. 100 of them. And 120 a pop? That's honestly not too bad. However, it's insane you can get great arrows this early, and you can't get great bows till basically super late game. But anyways, I forgot to record it. I killed him for his armor. Murder. And that means we can go ahead and buy a few more armor pieces. I'm only showing that once just so you can kind of see what it's like. But yeah, farming these guys, it did not go well. Because they would do some weird stuff sometimes. I don't know what was with that movement. That was insane. Or sometimes he would just refuse to cooperate. This was honestly a mess. And honestly, I was a little bit too. I spent so long doing that I got bored and went ahead and picked up some more items we need. Like the hawk ring over here. But eventually, we had enough. And you know what? I want you guys to take a guess. Leave a quick comment on how long you think this took. For reference, I had died 120 times. So, our starting point is about 6 hours. Do you think it took us 7, maybe 8 to get 1,000,000 souls? Go ahead, leave a comment. You got it? Situated? Well, In this time it took to do all of this, I had watched the Guilty Gear anime. I had watched some JoJo Part 5 and some of Part 4. And I mean, by some, I mean like a lot of it, skipping around a bit. But how could I do that? Well, this setup took 20 hours. Yeah, 20 hours, and we don't even have a great bow. That's great. But we're able to make our way to Drangleic Castle, and we're able to poison the guards, do a little bit of punching, and we're good to go in. That's great. I led the warrior over there to open the door, and with the door opened, we can finally pick up the frozen flower, which means we can enter the DLC. That's good. That's easy. All we gotta do is just run and pick up the bow. I kind of know where it was. Like, I'm gonna be real. I'd like watched one video when I was first routing it, which was the only thing I really looked up. Where's this bow, and where to find it. So, I'm gonna kind of be going in blind. No idea where I'm going fully. I remember it was at the third bonfire. It was over this way. Which, by the way, what do people think is the best DLC for Dark Souls 2? I know people like Sir Alone a lot in the Fume Knight. My personal favorite's the Ivory King, though. I just really like getting his guys. It's so cool. And speaking of cool, turns out our way was blocked by ice over there. I die here, which of course I'm definitely not going to show because that would just be embarrassing. But yeah, our way was blocked by ice, which means we need to speak to the queen, which means we need to beat Ava. Did you know Ava has a really high poison resistance? I didn't. Did you also know she has a really high health pool? So it takes a good bit to punch her down. With how long this setup's going, honestly, I'm not even surprised anymore. Honestly, I probably should have looked at how long this entire run took me. It was the amount of stuff I did was kind of crazy just to get it done. Eventually, Ava goes down, not first try, but after like a few, which means finally we're able to get people out of the way so we can pick up our one and only weapon for the run, the twin-headed great bow. It has S rank and strength scaling, and we upgrade it to +2, and it's time for the Dragon Riders. So, our build right now has the Silver Serpent Ring, the Ring of Blades, Hawk Ring, and the Chloranthy Ring. So, that basically means better stamina recovery and some more effective bow damage. It's not the best, but these were the only rings I knew what to put on. But honestly, I was expecting it to be just fine. And if you made it this far in the video, I would appreciate if you subscribe. If you're enjoying it, I put out videos quite frequently. And this is the level of commitment I'm ready to do. So, also, it would make me feel better for how much time and effort I put in this. But anyways, here we go. Rider time. And that's not too good a damage. I'm gonna be real. I wasn't expecting crazy numbers. Now, some of you might say, oh, waning, what about RTSR? To that I say, look how many times I've already been hit by a stray arrow from Big Man. Using this bow takes up our entire stamina. There's no way for me to get out of a shot in time. Could I have like practiced and played like perfectly? Maybe. But I ain't here because I play perfectly. I play reckless as they come. Trading is my middle name. So it took more arrows than it probably should have. 14. But we're done. Rider down. With them out of the way, we gotta open the way to the Looking Glass Knight, which means we have to get a shot over here. I would say that was a headshot, but he doesn't have a head. Does it count as a face, though? I don't know. But I pop a Bright Bug, and it's time to fight the Looking Glass Knight. Or at least it would have been if I didn't just die. Alright. Looking Glass. He can be poisoned. That's great for us, because that means we get to save some arrows. I mean, I didn't think he was a person myself. I thought he was like a robot, so him being poisonable always I thought was weird. I don't know, headcanon stuff. Now, he does summon his friends, which ain't too good. And you can't attack him while he's summoning because his defenses go up, and that would just be a waste of an arrow. First attempt honestly didn't go too well, but second attempt went a whole lot better. Well, I mean, of course it went better. We actually get it done. So it took, honestly, a lot of dodging, and that was such a lucky shot. He could have moved, put his shield in front, blocking my shot. Would have been a waste. But anyway, Shrine of Amana, I got through without needing to fire a single arrow. As I said, I've mastered the movement and guiding enemies away to let me through. So, there we go. Now, I had the butterfly set off because I just wanted things with better resistance and stuff to get through the Shrine of Amana. And I forgot to put it back on for the Demon of Song fight, so that's cool. Not much to say. I learned, obviously you can shoot him after he attacks, but also a little bit later, I kind of had the realization if you have an arrow ready before he opens up, that means you can get 2 arrows a cycle, which kind of made things go a whole lot faster. And after just a little bit of time and a couple arrows, we're able to take him down. No trouble. Would have been a lot less if we had a butterfly set, but that's fine. Moving on, we're heading to Velstadt, and this is when I actually remembered, oh right, poison. We kind of need to do that. Velstadt has really high defense, or at least higher than normal, and his phase 2 gives him even more. So that's just dandy right there. So the kind of plan is definitely to rely on poison and to try in his second phase to try and bait out his dark magic attack. Because obviously, this bow takes so long to shoot an arrow that we're either trading or just getting backhanded in general. Like, there is so much room for error. I think it's all just room for error. There's no successful way to shoot. But eventually the poison takes him, and we're good to go. We run past King Vendrick and pick up his ring, and we're going to go for the Throne Watcher and Defender first. Remember how I said we're going to be doing a few cheap things here? Well, using a Great Shield, we can make the Throne Watcher throw herself off a cliff. It's a little difficult to get right. It took a few attempts to get. You kind of just got to bait her over in this corner, hold your shield up, definitely don't die, and then eventually she'll just pop, making it a 1v1, which means you get to save on half your arrows. So yeah, didn't go too bad. Didn't really take too much damage either, so that means we got to save some life gems, which is always great. Him buffing was a very good opportunity to get an attack in, and then we're in Liam Lois again. Yes, we need to practice a trick, the parry walk. See, the guardian dragon ain't too hard to fight, but if we can skip him, that'd be so much better. So we go over here and we light this. I think it said it was called like a brazier. I don't know. This giant candlestick. Doing that summons a forlorn, which means all we gotta do is first learn how to parry. I'm really bad at parrying, but once we get that, we can jump over him and fall to our death. I'm gonna be real, I don't know why that didn't work. He was parried, he was having the animation, so I walked. But that's not how it's supposed to look. It's supposed to look a little something more like that. There we go. This allows us to skip the guardian dragon. Yeah, practicing that and pulling it off took probably about 4 to 5 hours. So the satisfaction of actually getting it was immense. So that's great. We now only have two bosses to get to the giant lord. First, we gotta talk to big man over here. He's gonna give us the Ash and Mist stats, so that means we can go bother him in his dream. That's crazy. We're gonna go annoy him in his dream. That's funny. Never really thought about it like that. But before we do that, we're doing a little bit of collecting so we can get the bow up to +3, which is nice. A little extra damage, you know. Now this boss, we actually grabbed the red tier stone ring because I was confident in being able to no hit him. Well, he no hit us, we hit him. By getting up on the ledge, he shouldn't be able to reach us too easily. So we get set up on this fire right here, taking some low damage till it finally pops up. And with a bright bug activated, that should be maximizing our damage. Have I mentioned that I don't like the last giant lord? We get him low enough to where I'm like, okay, I don't want to waste an arrow. We only have 3 left, so let's just poison him. So I stood by his ankles, took just a little bit, till eventually he would start to take damage. When that happened, it only took a few seconds, which is great, because that means we have 3 arrows for Nashandra. And honestly, it was a little disappointed. I kind of wanted to take her down without resorting to poisoning her. So on the way down, that's all I can think about. How can I do this differently? I mean, it's not like I can be like Iron Eye from Elden Ring Night Rain. Which, have you guys seen the new trailer? Game's looking great. I'm so excited for it. But anyways, as I got down here, I was like, wait a good minute. Benhart of Jugo, he's here. He's our summonable friend, and if he's summoned, maybe he can do a lot of damage while I just shoot arrows. Perfect. That's all we needed to do. He will make up the damage, and we finish her off. So we walk in. She does her typical dark orb thing. I break them because I feel like Benhart's not smart enough to know what they do. And was immediately disappointed by those damage numbers. My guy, 100 damage this late in the game with a great sword? Horrible. Horrendous. Could I have helped him? Maybe. But yeah, I realized he ain't gonna be doing the job, so I had an outfit change mid-fight. So I just kind of stood there. I mean, I'm not gonna be wasting arrows. And again, was a little disappointed by this fact. This is what I had to do, just kind of stand there till she's done. So we waited, got out of there when she did the AoE, of course. And the entire time, I was still rooting for Benhart a little bit. I was like, maybe he's gonna lock it in. Remember, he can 2-hand his weapon and then actually do damage with it. But as we were circle strafing, I remembered something that we could do with the great bow. First, obviously, you have to take out the cursed orbs. But I didn't know if it was available in this game. Attacking with it. Being able to jump attack with the great bow. Yeah, it's not great arrows, but you know what? At this point, the run's already weird enough. Might as well go for it. 178 a hit. That's about as much as Jugo did with a greatsword. That's crazy. So yeah, this was the big plan. She wasn't really getting poisoned anyways. Like, we've been standing here this entire time. She's still not poisoned. So after 3 minutes of that, finally she's low enough. So, well, she was almost low enough. But then eventually we take our second to last shot and then our final shot. So that's it. Can you beat Dark Souls 2 with 100 great arrows? If you did things with RTSR and better strength, maybe. But I couldn't. But I hope you still enjoyed the video and do subscribe if you do. See you guys in the next one.